I'm Emily Mashak, and you're listening to Tuned Into NoCo, Town Square Media's show that lets you know what matters in NoCo. I'm talking today with Sarah Witherell, the Interim Executive Director at the Humane Society of Weld County. So thank you so much for joining me today, Sarah.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Of course. Now, tell me, how did you find your way to the Humane Society of Weld County?
So I've always had a long love and interest in working with companion animals. And I moved to the Greeley area, I believe back about 8 years ago. So I had volunteered with the organization off and on, and then was interested in just becoming involved in a more significant level. So I actually joined the board in the summer of 2017 and have been pretty involved with the organization since that time.
That is awesome. And how has the Humane Society been doing throughout the pandemic? I know it's been crazy for everyone. So how are you holding up?
Yeah, so it certainly has been crazy for everyone. There's been a lot of, just a lot of navigating, going from all the way back last spring when everyone was really trying to figure out what was going on, just through all the kind of iterations and evolutions of, how to deal with, what space of COVID we're in, what level restriction. So since we as an organization had been designated from the onset as an essential business, since we are obviously caring for animals on a daily basis, we were not required to limit our hours or our accessibility to the public. So we chose not to close at any period during COVID. So we have remained open. We certainly have taken social distancing precautions, mask wearing precautions, limiting hours, limiting number of people in the building. But we really wanted to stay accessible and available to our community so that they can continue to, access the services that we were able to keep live, reclaim animals. And we have actually seen, as most organizations similar to us have seen, a real spike in adoptions during COVID, mostly in part due to a lot of the workforce being home. So that has been a real benefit, in this challenging time, is that we've done a lot of placements and a lot of placements quicker than I think we would do so normally. So in a lot of ways, we kind of have been business as usual as far as being open. Of course, again, making sure that we are being open responsibly. But it's been a real benefit for our animals as far as being able to place them on a quicker basis and having them, transition into home life with people that are home, maybe more so than they would have been normally outside of the COVID time period.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm so glad to hear that these animals are finding loving homes. And speaking of that, I know you have dogs, cats, other animals available for adoption. Can you tell me more about those?
Sure. So we primarily do, you're exactly right. We primarily service dogs and cats, and as well as small mammals. Right now in the building, we have a bird, we have 2 rats, and we have a ferret. Our small mammals they kind of ebb and flow as we see them through the building. But as far as our small mammals, those are typically the animals that you'll see. Sometimes we do have hamsters, gerbils. Really, the only types of animals we don't see through the building is reptiles. We just don't have the housing set up for them, and farm animals. Although one time we did have a stray mini potbelly pig with us for a few days, and that was really fun. But yep, you will find dogs and cats available always here for adoption. And again, sometimes we will have some small mammals and birds.
What is the adoption process like? How can people get involved?
Sure. So I think the primary way that people are kind of taking a peek at who we have available is through our website. That's updated in real time. So all of our available animals are visible on our website. If someone is interested in coming in for a visitation or just to look at who we have on the adoption floor, they're more than welcome to come in during our open hours. We do not require an appointment. We do require mask wearing in the building, and we limit the number of people in the building. So when people arrive, they can just come to the lobby doors, and then we kind of we control the flow through the building at that time. If someone decides that they would like to move forward with adoption, there's an adoption packet that we have them fill out. We do require proof of the ability to have animals in rental situations and things like that. But it's a pretty straightforward adoption process. We want our adoptions to be accessible for people, and for it to be a pretty easy and, again, accessible experience for them. So again, to see who we have available, for those listeners that are interested, our website is the best place to start first off. And then anyone is always more than welcome to give us a call if they have follow-up questions about any of the animals that we have available.
Now, clearly adopting a pet is so awesome, but it is a big commitment. So what do you think is most important for people to know before they adopt a pet?
So what we think is most important is for people to just be really realistic about the bandwidth that they have within their lifestyle to add in a pet. So if we have a family with a lot of young children, that the children have a lot of activities, there's a lot of kind of movement throughout the household on a daily basis, a lot of tight schedules that need to be fit, to where integrating a pet into the home may mean that the dedicated time that they would have for that animal is, a few, quick walks throughout the day. And, maybe not too much more than that, aside from the animal just kind of being involved in the daily life, just kind of looking at what sort of animal will actually fit well into that lifestyle, the age of the animal, the breed of the animal, the size of the animal, and also for people to be aware of, as you're acclimating an animal to your home, are you in a place where you have the time to do that? It would be wonderful if every animal was just kind of turnkey and you could, bring them home and it was like they had been living with you for the last, 5 years. But, as with anything, any new relationship, there's, that acclimation period where the animal is getting used to the home, the routine and whatnot. So of course, post initial adoption, there is going to be more time that is going to be required to, set up that successful transition. So just people really just being realistic about, what time they have available initially and what time they have available kind of in the long term, and making sure that, again, they're just realistic about what type of animal is going to fit into that lifestyle. We also, and people are really interested in this type of adoption frequently, but adopting animals as gifts is not something that we do. Again, for all of the reasons I just discussed, we want to make sure that, we're matching our animals up into a home and a lifestyle that is going to, set the adopter, the human and the animal up for success. So if someone is looking to adopt for a gift, kind of really thinking through that process and figuring out a way if it's possible to actually involve the person that the animal will belong to in the adoption process.
And now, along with adoption, you offer other services as well, helping with lost and found pets and end-of-life services. Can you tell me more about those?
Sure. So we do provide stray services. So animals that are found stray either by various animal control entities that we have contracts with or by the public are housed here for people to come in and look for their lost pets and hopefully reclaim. We do, again, as you mentioned, offer end-of-life services for pets here. In addition, we do have a pet food pantry that's accessible to people during our open hours 7 days a week, but we do have a monthly drive-up pet pantry on the second Saturday of the month where those in need of pet food can just drive up to the front of the shelter, and we have volunteers that will assist them in their car and bring pet food out to them. We also do have a low-cost vaccine clinic that we offer once a month on the last Saturday of the month. That is also drive up. We're trying to kind of minimize as much contact as we can. So that's the last Saturday of the month. And then we do right now have a community cat spay-neuter clinic that we offer once monthly as well. And we are bringing back online the public cat and dog spay neuter services. That should be coming back online within the next month. And there will be more information on our website about that in particular. And then all of the services that I just mentioned are listed on our website.
How can listeners get involved with the Humane Society, whether they want to volunteer or maybe donate?
Absolutely. So all of the information as far as getting involved in our volunteer program is again on our website. It is an online application. We are hosting volunteers on site in the building. Again, just kind of like our patrons, we limit the number of volunteers that we have in the building at any given time. But we do have volunteers on site, and they do a wide variety of things to help us out. We have volunteers that like to come in and help out with cleaning. We have volunteers that come in and do dog walking, cat enrichment, a whole host of in-person activities. As far as donating, we are accepting donations. There is a donation bin in our vestibule, so people can leave any of the items that we're in need of in the vestibule of our lobby. So it's a no contact drop off. So we are definitely taking any donations, and anyone that is interested in purchasing items for donation for us. We have a wish list on Amazon that we keep current for those items that we're always in need of. And then we do update that wish list seasonally as well.
Well, that is awesome. And thank you so much, Sarah, for talking to me today about the Humane Society. It's been great to learn about it. Is there anything else you would like listeners to know?
We would just really like to thank the community for their support during COVID, and for utilizing us as a resource to adopt, as well as support the homeless animals in the community. It's a huge help to have the community at large involved and supporting us and enabling us to do what we do in caring for our animals. So just a thank you to everyone out there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sarah. I appreciate you taking the time today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Again, that was Sarah Witherell, the Interim Executive Director at the Humane Society of Weld County. Learn more at weldcountyhumane.org.